Hello.
Hi. I
All
guess
right,
we're ready to start, are we?
you're ready to go.
Hey, very good. Hi, folks. Welcome to the 25th presentation hosted by AlmonTravel and CARP, and for this evening, Viking Cruises, held every Tuesday at 6:30 Atlantic time, presently into late June. Check the CARP Travel website for a list of all of the upcoming presentations. As in the past, this presentation is being recorded and will be on the CARP Travel website shortly after. A little bit about us. We've been in business since 2003. Actually, we're coming up on 18 years in May, just a month or so from now. So pleased about that. We're trying to develop with CARP special groups that will allow you to travel with family, friends, and other like-minded people regarding travel. We have a number of specialties. The first is destination weddings. We've done 130 destination weddings across Canada, down to the Caribbean area. Where that translates is if you have a special anniversary coming up, for example, we can certainly help you to put that together if you have extended family and close friends. We also, of course, with our experience with destination weddings, know a lot about Caribbean area vacations. Adult only or family, we can make recommendations as to the best resorts for those. One of our key specialties is river cruising. We've done 9 itineraries around the world, and Viking actually does most of them, including in Asia, Vietnam. We've done two itineraries, the Mekong with Cambodia and the Red River in the north, the Nile in Egypt, as well as the Rhine and Danube, the Rhone in southern France, the Po River in Italy, and Portugal's Douro River in Europe, as well as the Mississippi in the United States. We also do ocean cruises and try to experience the most popular that clients are interested in. Hawaii, the Mediterranean, the 3 Caribbean itineraries. We've also cruised around the UK, Australia to New Zealand, and of course, Alaska. Travel conditions changing every week. Look at the newspaper and you see the relatively small number of cases in Nova Scotia. I have received the welcome news that I am to receive the Pfizer vaccine starting tomorrow. And we know that 4 months later is when you receive the second shot. And then about 2 weeks after that is when you're declared invulnerable to COVID. Well, that's not quite true, but certainly it opens things up considerably for us. And you know, certainly the majority of the demographic for CARP is around my age or in that area. So very soon we'll all be vaccinated. Like some of your help to spread the information about these presentations. It would be great to have more viewers as these presentations are put on. The presenters, I'm sure, would be happy to see larger numbers. Also want you to note that we at AlmonTravel are developing two specialties within our specialties. One is on solo travel, where we're trying to work with suppliers who either have a reduced single supplement or no single supplement for certain sailings, or match you up with a like-minded traveler. The other specialty that we're starting to develop is women's only travel, and I think there might be some interest in that as well. Okay, if you have any thoughts or suggestions for itineraries or destinations that you think might be of interest, certainly please let me know at danny@almontravel.ca, and I'll certainly look into it. Our connection, AlmonTravel's connection with CARP is through Bill Van Gorder, who is the COO and Chief Policy Officer for CARP National, as well as founding chair for CARP Nova Scotia, in addition to being the senior spokesperson for CARP in the Maritimes. Our connection with Bill is on several levels. Worked on a foundation that he helped develop. I worked on the board with him for 4 years. And we also booked a couple of trips for him, a river cruise in Europe and Rocky Mountaineer. So as a result of our service on those trips, he asked us if we might be interested in acting as the official travel agency for CARP Nova Scotia, and we said yes. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Jordana Bodding, Director of Business Development for Eastern Canada for Viking Cruises, who will be revealing one of Viking's newest options, a combination river cruise on the Rhine together with a sailing on one of their lavish ocean cruise vessels. Jordana, if you could take over, please.
Thanks so much, Danny. Hello, everyone. As Danny mentioned, I work for Viking Cruises, and my role is I get to work with amazing travel partners like Danny, and I get to spread the world of Viking with our mutual clients, you guys. So a little bit about me. I've been in the cruise only industry for over 20 years, and in my career I've been on, I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but kind of proud, I've been on over 70 cruises. Anywhere from a 30 passenger yacht to a 5,000 passenger megaship. And what I love about working for Viking is at Viking, we believe a trip is more than just a trip. It should be a doorway to cultural insight and personal enrichment. And of course, we believe the best way to get to know new cultures and learn about new destinations is by the rivers, the oceans, and now the Great Lakes. To those of you joining that have been on a past Viking cruise, well, welcome back. For our new attendees that have not heard of Viking or don't know much about Viking, welcome, and let me give you a little overview of who we are. So we began sailing on the Russia waterways with our first 4 ships 23 years ago, and we were offering the most unique and culturally enriching itineraries possible at the time. And this began the modern river cruise industry as we know it today. Now, in 2015, we took that amazing destination-focused river cruise experience, bottled it up, designed our very own small ocean ship, and have been sailing. We have 7 of them now in our fleet, and we have been voted many of times the top-rated small ship ocean cruise line. So we're truly honored for that. Now, after 2 decades of river cruising, reinventing ocean cruising, we are now taking our destination-focused journeys to the far reaches of the globe and close to home with Viking expeditions. So at Viking, you can travel all 7 continents, 95 countries, 403 ports, 20 rivers, the 5 oceans, and the 5 Great Lakes. So a little bit about our philosophy. While much of cruising is about bigger ships, more theme park style attractions on them, we are taking a different approach by focusing on the destination and the people of those destinations we travel to. So we have carefully curated our cruises for that curious traveler. So if you are that person with that true explorer spirit that really likes to get in to know the destination, you're interested in the history, the culture, the geography, and you want to do it by sailing into the heart of some of the most iconic towns and iconic cities and quaint towns, a Viking cruise is the way to go. Our ships, well, they are very elegantly designed ships. And as an effective operator, we like to pass the savings on to our guests by providing you with a cruise fare with everything you're going to need, from your meals to your beverages to free Wi-Fi. We even include a shore excursion in every port of call. These shore excursions, well, they are usually a highlight of the must-see of the destination, and they're always guided by expert guides from that local region. So they're great. They bring the history to life as you're going through. So today's presentation, I'm excited to talk about today's presentation because this is one of my favorite things is you get to experience, it's actually the best way for me to describe it, it is the perfect marriage between our river ships and our ocean ships, this itinerary. So this gives you the opportunity to cruise down one of the best loved rivers in Europe, the Rhine, and then you transfer over to an ocean ship and you go up and see the incredible scenery of the Norwegian fjords. Now, what I'm going to do today is I am going to kind of take you on a little adventure, and it's like, I like to call them my travel virtually adventures. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you port by port on the journey. And everything that I talk about that you're going to see will be the included excursion. If I talk about anything additional that's going to be an optional excursion, don't worry about that. I will mention it, and Danny can get you all the information on it if it's something that you are interested in. So This itinerary starts with our 8-day Rhine cruise. This is a great cruise. You get to visit 4 different countries, 6 guided tours. So let's dive in. So we are going to fly into Basel. Now, if you don't want to do an ocean and river cruise, don't worry. You can just do this river cruise part, or you can just do the ocean cruise part. So keep that in mind as I'm going through. So we're going down one of Europe's best loved rivers. Now, I love this. This is one of my favorite itineraries because you get the incredible Rhine Gorge. So let's dive in. Our first stop is Basel. Now, Basel lies in the heart of Europe. It is on both banks of the Rhine, so it makes it a great start for us to start our adventure. It is also interesting because Basel is one of those cities that is located on an interesting border triangle. So you got France, you got Germany, you have Switzerland. So if you've bought your air through Viking, we will greet you at the airport and bring you to the ship, which is a good thing because of the fact you might turn the wrong way in the airport and you could be in France and not in Switzerland. So keep that in mind. So we will bring you in. Switzerland, Basel is Switzerland's oldest university city. They have an incredible place to go touring. Their old town is absolutely unbelievable. One of the beautiful sights to see is the Romanesque Gothic Cathedral. And you can see it here in this picture with their beautiful tiles, the multi-roof tiles in the towers there. This cathedral was built in 1019, and in 1500 it was it pretty much served as a Catholic cathedral until the 1500s when it went into Protestant. Now, my favorite part though of Basel is the old part. So it's built on 2 hills, and wandering through these sloping residential streets will make you forget that you are in the thick of the 3rd largest city in Switzerland. So here you're going to see, in the best way for me to describe it, they have postmen carrying their parcels on these old-fashioned postcarts going through the cobblestone streets. As you're going through, and you can see in these pictures that you got these ivy-clad buildings, the shuttered windows. It looks like pages from a fairy tale. That's the best way I can describe it. There's lots of little shops lined up, including there is one for my Christmas lovers. There is a Christmas shop that is there all year round, and it's actually rumored that the Pope buys his Christmas decorations from here. So you can go in, you can check that out. Even if it's the summertime, it is open. Now, keep in mind, depending on when you arrive in Basel, depends on what you're going to get to do. So if your flight arrives a little bit early, you will have time to go walking the old town. If you arrive at a certain time, you might have to come straight to the ship. So you might miss out on a great part of this city. So what I recommend to do is work with Danny. Danny can work with you about different extension packages to make sure you might want to come in a couple days early. And I always recommend that with Europe because you usually get a day of jet lag. So it takes a day to get back onto the right cycle. So I always recommend go in a day early. You get to enjoy a full day, get rested up for your adventure ahead, because we got to go cruising. So we are going to leave probably about dinner time, and we are going to head to our next stop. And that is Breisach. Now, Breisach is located in one of the warmest parts of Germany. It's right across the water from the French Alsace wine region. So it also makes it good that Breisach has some great wine too. So if you're in the town, it's nice to stop for a glass of wine there. But what's going to happen today is we are going to whisk you away on a bus tour. So we are going to take you through some incredible countryside, and we're looking at it right now, and we are going to the Black Forest. So we are going to head to the Black Forest. What is the Black Forest known for? So the wood in the Black Forest is actually the wood that makes cuckoo clocks. So you can actually, we have cuckoo clock demonstrations. You can go in, you can see how they're made. There's thousands of different cuckoo clocks in the Black Forest. Also, they have some great little shops. You can go hiking. There's a great trail that you can take. But one of the great things to do is the Black Forest got its name, the incredible cake got its name from this Black Forest. So they do a great Black Forest cake demonstration. You can stop, you can have some traditional Black Forest cake in the Black Forest. Now, everybody will come back to the ship for lunchtime, and then you have the afternoon on your own. We are docked right kind of in the downtown area, so you can get off, you can wander, or you can enjoy any optional excursions. So we have an optional excursion that will take you to the Alsatian town Colmar. This is another incredible storybook town with medieval streets, Gothic buildings. Alternatively, we have a World War II history tour as well that will take you there. So there's many things for you to do in the afternoon when you are in Braysock. Now, day 3, we're going to one of my favorite cities in along the Rhine. Actually, you're going to hear me say that a lot because I have a lot of favorite cities, but Strasbourg, France. So we are going, Strasbourg is the largest port city on the Upper Rhine, and it is the center for the French Alsace region and home to the European Parliament. So our tour will take you, we will do a bus tour to begin with, so you will get to see all the Parliament buildings, and then we will head into the Old Town. And what I love about the Old Town is the Old Town is actually on a little island, and it's kind of surrounded by the Ill River. It is so compact, you can walk your way around, you won't get lost anyway as you're going around the Old Town. So we'll go through there, you'll get to see their beautiful famed cathedral. There's a lot of shopping in this region, so if you want to get some souvenirs, they got some great French souvenirs, they got good artisanal soap, chocolate, cheese, jewelry, you name it. My favorite thing to do is they have a lot of different little restaurants if you want to stop for tapas, enjoy a glass of wine, and just watch the people buy. The afternoon after our tour, it is free for you. So our tour will end in the heart of the Old Town. And what happens is we will have a bus circling. So we will have a bus with pickup times that you can stay as long as you want to before you go back to the ship. For my wine lovers though, if you want to do an optional excursion, of course we are in wine country, so we do offer optional excursions to a winery as well. Day 4, we're in Spire, Germany. So we're going to enjoy the morning cruising down the river. So you can wake up at your leisure, enjoy lunch on our beautiful Aquavit Terrace, which is this outdoor dining area at the front. And then after lunch, we are going to go visit. Our included tour will take us to the old town of Spire. Now, Spire is a town, as you can see, it's really known for their 11th century former basilica, which you can see. It's in that Romanesque architecture. So we will take you for a tour of the old town. It's a quaint old town. You can go shopping. Alternatively, we can offer a different tour too for you, and it's to Heidelberg. Now, Heidelberg is a big university town. One of the tours that we will take you is to the Heidelberg Castle, which has some of the most incredible views I've ever experienced. So you'll get to go up to the castle. My active people, you can hike up. Me, not so active, so I took the tram up and hiked down. So I did 50-50 along the way, but you'll get some great photos. And then when you come down, it's located in a great little old town, a great shopping street as well. Everybody will be back to the ship about dinner time. So keep that in mind. We'll bring everybody back to the ship for dinner time. Because we are going to, day 4, we are going to, oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. We are going to come back to the ship for lunchtime because we need to head over to Rudesheim. Sorry, I used to doing this itinerary the other way around, so I just got to flip my mind around. Okay, so then we are going to Rudesheim. Rudesheim is great. It is the heart of Rudesheim is Drosselgasse, which is their main street, and it's full of excitement, lots of live music going down. It's very live, so we'll take you on another great walking tour. We are going to be here until about midnight. So you have a choice when we do this stuff. And this is what I love about river cruising is you can decide whatever you want to do. So you can decide if you want to come back on board the ship and eat dinner, you're welcome to do that. If you want to treat yourself and buy yourself dinner out and enjoy dinner in a quaint little German town, you can do that. One of my ideal optional tours that I would recommend, if there's anything that I would recommend you enjoy, is this one tour that we do offer. And it's a tour to the Eberbach Monastery. And this monastery, it's an incredible monastery because it's in this monastery that is it's a large Romanesque Catholic abbey that kind of dates back to the 1100s. So when you're going through, and this is their wine cellar, and What this monastery is now a winery, and it is home to about 300 hectares of vineyards. And they produce Rieslings, Chardonnays, Pinot Blancs, Pinot Gris, and Pinot Noir wines. So during your tour, you will learn about how the monks actually made this incredible, successful wine production. We will take you through the abbey. You will see how the grapes are made. And then the tasting room is actually in the old abbey's wine cellar. So they have it lit up just like this that we're looking at with the old wine barrels. They light it up with candles. And keep in mind, this is an old Gothic abbey, right? So it's really quaint. It's very interesting. You get to taste all of their wine, and then afterwards you get to enjoy a local farm to table dinner that is right there in the stables. So they actually rearranged the stables to be this elegant dining area. So that is just an example. I'm not going to go into lots of examples of our optional excursions, but that just gives you an example of how unique excursions we offer at Viking. So we like to offer these once in a lifetime excursions that will kind of make your trip extra special, and that's one of those things. So we are going to the next day. You are going to wake up on day 5, and you're going to want to get up at a good hour on this day because you want to get good seats outside, because this is the best part of the cruise. And this is when we go sailing through the Rhine Gorge. Now, the Rhine Gorge is a UNESCO heritage site, and from Rudesheim to Koblenz, there is actually every mile there is a medieval castle. And as we're sailing down and doing these sailings, it's amazing because our program director that's on board the ship will be on the speaker talking to everybody, telling the incredible tales about all of these castles and bringing them to life. You'll hear the tale of Lorelei, which is just outside of Rudesheim. You'll get to see her. She's about 16 miles outside of Rudesheim. And the story about Lorelei is this maiden who drowned for love. So you'll hear all about her story. You'll hear the stories of the castles. And then we will arrive in the early afternoonish in Koblenz. Now, Koblenz, I love Koblenz. Koblenz is a great little German town, but what we get to do in Koblenz is we really get to enjoy some incredible German fortresses and castles. So Koblenz sits on the middle Rhine Highlands. Sorry, I don't know where my tongue is. And it was founded more than 2,000 years ago. So it's right where the Rhine and the Moselle rivers meet. And so there's a lot of fortresses that you can see here. And one of the big ones that you see is the one we're looking at, and it's the Ehrenbreitstein Fortress. So this fortress, the beginnings of the foundations are dated all the way back to 1000 BC. In World War I, this was used as a military headquarters just because of its location. Why wouldn't they use it? But where this fortress gained its great significance was in 1657. So this is actually the fortress that guarded Jesus Christ's holy tunic at that time. So that is, you'll hear all about the story. I just touched on the story. I'm not going to great details because I don't want to ruin the whole entire trip for you when you get there, right? Now, if you don't want to go to the Ehrenbreitstein Fortress, there's also the Marksburg Castle here. And the Marksburg Castle, she is a 700-year-old castle pictured here. Now, this castle is unique because most castles down the Rhine were actually residents, and this castle is not a residence. It was actually used as a fortress, so it was built for protection, and it was one of the only castles that has not been destroyed. So we will take you, you will tour the citadel, you will see the impressive Gothic kitchens that are in there, and then they have this hall, and they call it the Gremlin Collection, and it includes all of these life-size figurines with detailed changes to armors and weaponry over 2,000 years. So it's like this incredible time capsule as you're going through it. So that is your two options. It's tough to decide what to do, the Ehrenbreitstein or the Marksburg Castle, but those are two different options you can do in Koblenz. You want to get your rest up in Koblenz because the next day you are going to wake up into the largest city along the Rhine, which is Cologne. There is about 1 million inhabitants of Cologne. Cologne has a long history. It dates back all the way to 50 AD. And it was entirely destroyed by World War II bombing. And when you go through it, you will see the architecture has been, it has this new and old mix. So the old town feels very still Old Town, and it's put into, it still looks the same as it did, but you will walk out of it and you will feel very modernized. So what our tour is today, I love this tour. So the tour begins with a walking tour. You are going to go through the Old Town, you'll pass St. Martin's Church, you'll get to visit the incredible domed cathedral, which is, and it's an awe to see in person. It's an awe to even look at it in this picture, but to see it up close, it's just incredible. Now, for my brave people on today's webinar, one thing I would recommend is an optional tour. This is one not for me, but it could be for you. You can actually go up to that very peak at the top of that dome cathedral, and you can get a bird's eye view of the city and an up close view of the architecture of the cathedral, if that is for you. If that is, please send Danny the picture. He'll forward it on to me, and I would love to see it. But what else you get to do, you're going to get free time, lots of free time in Cologne. So the afternoon is for you to spend what you want to do. So what we're looking at here is the waterfront. There's lots of stuff to do along the waterfront where we dock, tons of different restaurants. They have bike paths. You can rent bikes to go up and down the bike path. Along the waterfront too is one of my favorite museums. The Chocolate Museum is along the waterfront. This museum chronicles the whole life of chocolate, right from its beginnings to the contemporary brands we all know and love today. But I have to say that's not the only museum in Cologne. Of course, they have the world-class museum. They have the incredible Ludwig Museum that hosts works from a ton of famous different artists. They have a lot of work of Picasso in there, which is really good, worth seeing. Our ship is leaving in the evening, so you are welcome once again to come back on board the ship for dinner. You can go back out, do whatever you want. You can walk on and off as much as you want. Our optional excursion tonight, it is fun. Cologne has a really big beer culture. So there is brew houses all throughout the Old Town of Cologne, and it's really big. And they have their own special beer that is called Cloche, and it's a crisp beer. It's very fresh. And so our tour for the night will take you to a couple brew houses. You get to taste the different beers, and you get to enjoy some local German food. So that is definitely worth a trip. Now, day 7, I love this. The Kinderdijk windmills are probably the most famous windmills in the world, probably the most photographed ones too, but behind this incredible landscape, there is a lot of history to be known. So if you are somewhat familiar with the history of the Netherlands, you know that a third of the country is below sea level and 2/3 of the country is very vulnerable to flooding. So the Dutch are world known for their water management, and at Kinderdijk you will learn about the complete history of water management. The UNESCO Heritage Site, it consists of 19 different working windmills. You will have a chance to enter a windmill, see their living quarters. Yes, people actually do live in them. They earn a salary. The story behind it, and you'll hear all about it, but their salary is based on how many times their turbine spins in the windmill, which is interesting. So you will learn all about that. You will see the mechanisms. We will all return back on board the ship for lunchtime because we have to do a sailing to head to our final stop. But what's unique about this is you get to enjoy an afternoon of Dutch diversion. So we will do presentations in our lounge on the Dutch Golden Age. Of course, we're going to have incredible Dutch cheeses, juniper liquor, all of that great stuff for you to enjoy and snack on. All right. Day 8. So day 8, today we are going to arrive in Amsterdam, and Amsterdam, the capital of the Netherlands, one of the most popular tourist destinations. It's well known for their elaborate canal systems, their iconic narrow houses, their architecture. But what's going to happen in Amsterdam is if you have decided this is your end of your journey, you just want to do the Rhine cruise, you could either work with Danny, book an extension onto Amsterdam. But if you are going to continue on with us to go on to the ocean ship, what you're going to have to do is pack your bags and make sure they're ready for you for our crew in the morning. What's going to happen with your bags is our crew will take them, they will put them on the bus, and you won't see them until you get on board our ocean ship and in your stateroom. On the way to the ocean ship, you will get a city tour of Amsterdam, but you won't you will just have that day in Amsterdam. So keep that in mind. It's not a full entire day because our ship does have to disembark for our next journey. So we are going to head. So imagine we've got off our river ship. We are now on our ocean ship. We are going to sail out of Amsterdam through this most incredible lock system on this beautiful ocean ship. And we are going to head to the Viking Shores and Fjords. So our inspiration at Viking as a company we draw on the inspiration and the bravery and the creativity of the Vikings. Let's be serious, they were extraordinary explorers whose spheres of influence expanded far beyond Scandinavia, right? So that adventuresome spirit actually is all in our onboard programming and our itineraries. A lot of our itineraries that we offer, especially in Scandinavia, follow the Viking trade routes. So this 8-day adventure, we are going to go visit 3 different countries. We're going to enjoy 5 different guided tours. Don't forget, we get that included tours. They're all included. We include in tours on ocean as well. So you get 1 free shore excursion in every port of call. And that is amazing because there's not many ocean cruise lines that do that. So our itinerary, we are traveling from Amsterdam. We are going to head across. We are going to visit Sagen, Oslo, Kristiansand, Stavanger. We're going to go into the Fram Fjord, and we are going to end in Bergen. So let's get going. All right, so day 2, this is going to be a sea day. So you just had 7 full days cruising down the Rhine. You just transferred onto the ocean ship. This is going to be a great day for you. You can rest up, you can recharge, you can get ready for your next journey. When we are cruising, when we have sea days, we do a lot of unique stuff on board of our ship. So what we have done with Viking is we have a cultural program on board of our ocean ships. So we bring on host resident historians, we bring on news correspondents, we bring on we have our Viking resident historians, we bring on architects, we bring on archaeologists, a whole bunch of different speakers we bring on board the ships. And we have connected our lecture programs to wrap around what our shore excursions are going to offer you. So during our sea days, this is when we are going to have a lecture program go on. We break out after in roundtables so you can have intimate discussions with the other guests on board the ship. Now, if you want to rest, I understand, as I get it, you just spent 7 days cruising the Rhine. Don't worry, we have lots of places for you to rest. Depending what time of year, you can do in the aft pool that we're looking at here. If it's a little bit in the fall time, I wouldn't recommend it. It might be a little chilly, but don't worry, we have an inside pool with a retractable roof that is perfect all year round. We have a Nordic spa, which is included in the cruise pricing. So you have a steam room, you have a sauna, you have a thalassotherapy pool. So there'll be lots of stuff for you to do on a sea day while we are cruising. Our first day, well, we are going to arrive in Skagen, Denmark. I love Skagen. It is probably one of the most romantic ports, I have to say, along the Baltic. It's a pretty small town. There's only a population of about 8,000 people in the town, and it's located on the northernmost township of Denmark. So it is kind of the east coast of the peninsula, if I can explain that the best way. And it's an old, charming village. It's nestled in these pristine dunes. They have these picturesque moors, these long sandy beaches, and it's surrounded by these beautiful turquoise water. Long ago, this town is well known for its impressionist painters. They found this town many years ago, and they were so impressed by the landscapes that a lot of famous impressionist painters have came here. And we will take you on a tour. You will get to know go through the town. You'll get to see all the sites that inspired these painters. You will get to see the incredible museum with all of their work. It's an easy town. The town itself, it's easy to explore on foot. They have these beautiful color wooden houses. Also, you will get a chance to go visit the Coastal Museum. So we're coming into aquavit country, so you will get a glass of aquavit while you're there. And the main source of income is herring fishing. So you will get a little sample of herring as well. For my World War II buffs, this town has been a strategic hold for World War II and the Germans because of its location, right? On the it's located where the Baltic and the North Sea meet. So there is a lot of abandoned German bunkers in many different spots. So we will take you on a World War II history tour too as well if you want to do that. All right, welcome to Oslo, perched on the southern region of Norway. Oslo is the capital that has this incredible, stunning scenery. It's located at the head of the Oslo Fjord, and it has lots of history, an incredible museum and an art scene, and it really rivals with a lot of large cities. It's a very clean city, filled with lots of green spaces. The people are very friendly when you are here, and you will get to enjoy a mix of old and new architecture. So we are going to have ample time here. So you might want to enjoy the incredible Akershus Fortress that's here, the splendid Royal Palace, maybe go for a stroll through Vigeland Park to see all the 212 sculptures that are through it. As I mentioned, you'll have lots of time that you could do a distillery visit that is, you can enjoy aquavit. But for my artist, Oslo is the place for art, and one of the museums I would recommend to go visit is the Mooc Museum. Now, Edvard Mook is a Norwegian artist. He's well known all across Norway. When you go to Norway, one of his famous works is called The Scream. You will see his work on tea towels. I actually have a spatula with his work on it, so you will see his work absolutely everywhere. And the Edvard Mook Museum in Oslo is one of the only museums that show his work. So you can go through, it chronicles all of his work. All of it was donated from himself upon his death, and additional work was donated by his sister. So you will get to see a lot of his personal collections, his letters, all of that stuff. Now, if you don't make it to the museum, don't worry, because on board a Viking, we are one of the exclusive people that can also show Edvard Mook's work, and we bring his work to life on board on our 3D to screen in our main atrium. So for my Viking friends, there is lots of Viking museums and different ship museums to go to here. So there's the Fram Museum. The Fram Museum really focuses on polar expeditions. So it talks about the whole Norwegian history and culture regarding around polar expedition. And the one thing you get to experience here is the first ever ice-breaking ship that was made out of wood. So you can walk through it. The museum really offers you a lot of history, as well as a lot of tools that they have on display, photographs and artifacts regarding all around the Norwegian polar exploration. For my Viking friends and the ship that inspired the Viking logo, you are welcome to go to the Viking Ship Museum. So this has the best preserved Viking longships in the world. They date back to the 9th century. They were all found around Norway. They were actually Viking burial ships that you will get to see. So you will get to see their carts, their tools from the Middle Ages. One thing when you're going through the museum is Viking Cruises actually has sponsored this museum. So you will get to see an incredible film while you're going through called Vikings Alive that will give you the whole history of the Vikings. And it was produced in sponsorship with us, and they show it, and it really helps you bring the exhibits to life. Now, being a guest of Viking, we offer you behind the scenes stories to tours that will take you to where they actually refurbishes these incredible ships too as well. So those are some unique things you can do in Oslo. Kristiansand, Norway. Kristiansand, Norway is a wonderfully charming city. It's situated in southern Norway, and the Norwegians call this Norway's Riviera because it has beautiful beaches, of course, and its strategic position, of course, was another military stronghold. So Harald the Fairhair, the first king of Norway, this is where he settled. So you will get to hear all of the stories of Harald. You will get to enjoy an incredible panoramic drive. So you get to see the fortress, which is a beautiful 17th century fortress. You'll get to tour the incredible fish market and the old town with its splendid Gothic cathedrals. So another thing for so this is a great tour for my history buffs, my war buffs. In Kristiansand, they have the Cannon Museum, which is home to the second largest cannon ever built in the world. So you will actually, in the museum, it's not only home to the cannon, it's home to all of the coastal military artillery. So you'll get to learn all about that. Welcome to Stavanger. This is a cute old town. So where our ship docks, you will have lots of time to explore. It's within walking distance. And the old quarter it's Europe's highest concentration of wooden buildings from the 17th and 18th century. And that's a big thing because a lot of them, and you will hear when I talk to Bergen, a lot of them have burnt down. So if these are the original houses, that is a truly great thing. So you'll get a chance to walk through. You will hear about the most important industry in the economy here, and that is the petroleum industry. So they have the Norwegian Petroleum Museum that tells you everything, the dangers that they faced extracting this incredible precious oil. Beyond that, you're going to have free time. And what I recommend to do here is to just sit down and enjoy a traditional Norwegian waffle with a little cheese on it. If you like it savory, if you like it sweet, put a little jam on there. We also offer an opportunity which is called the kitchen table experience, and this only happens on board of Viking Ocean. And our kitchen table experience is you can go off the ship with our chef. We will take you to a local market. We will all source out different food. It's only for a small group of people. And then you come back and we have an open demo kitchen on board of our Viking ship. So you will learn how our crew prepares food. You will get to prepare your own dinner that evening and join a great meal with everybody. All right. Oh, and also in Stavanger, one of the great things you have to go see, the most natural wonder of Norway is the Pulpit Rock. This rock, we are looking at it right here. It is kind of a foggy picture. I wish we had a better picture of it, but it's a flat rock that pretty much overlooks Lies Fjord. And it's incredible scenery, and you can go out there, you can take beautiful pictures, and it's one of the most natural wonders in Norway to go see. So, and if I forget, if you don't get to stop for those incredible Norwegian waffles, don't worry, we have them on board of our ship in Mamsom's Deli, so don't worry about that. All right, this is my favorite part of cruising Norway, the fjords. So there's one thing I'm going to tell you before we enter the fjords. Take one picture and put down your camera, because my biggest regret, and I told Danny this, he's laughing, you can see him. My biggest regret when I cruised the fjords is I was behind my camera lens the whole time trying to capture the perfect picture, when I should have just been sitting down and enjoying the scenery. When you are cruising through the fjords, it is the waters like ice, and it is one of the most magical experiences that I can explain. So what today is, once we go in, we are going to cruise into the village of Fram. So you're going to enjoy that spectacular scenery as we're going in. When we reach the Fram, our included excursion will take you to visit this incredible landscape from a very high point viewing area. So we will go up, it's a scenic drive, it will take you all through the waters, but you will be reaching up to about 6,000 feet. So it's going to be a little bit of a windy ride. I'm going to give you a heads up about that. There's actually a 180-degree switchback in the road. So you got to keep that in mind. We're going up the side of a mountain. And then when you get up there, you're going to have picturesque views. And then on our way back down from there, we are going to an incredible town called Orland Sound, and this is the town. It's located right in the fjord. So as you can see, it's a beautiful town that's nestled right in there. So you will get a chance. You'll have lots of time to do photos, walk through this quaint town, and then we will all head back to the ship. So, and then when we sail out again, keep in mind, you're going to get another view of sailing back out. And all of our staterooms on board of our ship are veranda staterooms. So you can have your own veranda to make sure you enjoy the fjords. We also have incredible floor to ceiling windows. We have some of the most outdoor viewing areas that are on board of our ocean ships. So please keep that in mind. Our cruise is going to end in an incredible city, Bergen, Norway. Oslo is a wonderful city, but I personally like the quaintness of Bergen a little bit more. The city is small, it's historic, it's filled with great seafood, beautifully decorated, close to the mountains. It's surrounded by 7 different mountains and fjords. So for my nature lovers, you can definitely get your nature fix. The colored wooden houses along Bergen's Hanseatic Wharf here, as you can see, they are an iconic site for the city, and it has been one of they have burnt down and rebuilt this numerous of times. So it was first built in the 14th century, and every time they rebuild it the exact same on the exact same footprint. So you will get to learn all about that as we're cruising through the quaint towns. Our ship, where it docks in Bergen, it docks actually right at the downtown wharf. So we have what is called a small class ship. So we can get in a lot of places where the megaliners cannot. So usually in Bergen, the megaliners dock out and you have to bust in. Well, with us, we are right downtown. You can walk on and off the ship. You can go to the market that's located there. One of my favorite markets. You can go get fresh food. They have this incredible peel and eat shrimp, which I recommend. When you're walking through the downtown is like a maze of alleyways and old buildings, and it's really neat to explore because you can peek in. They have these really unique different shops as you're going through as well. So one of the things I can't forget is when you're in Bergen, make sure you stop to appreciate the manhole covers. Now, I told Danny this and he's giggling because they're like a work of art. If you are walking around, each of the manhole covers in the city are this incredible art piece. And you could probably take pictures of them all and put them up as art if you wanted to. So that might be a nice take home. Now, this is the day we're going to disembark the ship. So I talked about this incredible city, but if you once again fly out right away, you're going to miss a big important part of the city. So I recommend working with Danny about pre and post packages. So keep that in mind. So let's just quickly go over what I went over today, because I have been talking now for about 40 minutes. So I just want to bring you back to give you an overview of what we reviewed. So this is our Rhine and Viking Shores itinerary. So this is where we have combined it, our Rhine Getaway River Cruise with our Viking Shores and Fjord Ocean Cruise. So keep in mind, you can do them separate or you can do them together if you want to. Now, if you have a little bit more time, because we have been at home and you want to travel longer and you want to experience more of the European rivers, we have a 22-day adventure that is very similar to what I just went through, but the difference is you get to do our Grand European journey. So our Grand European journey takes you through the heart of Europe on our river cruise. So you will start in Budapest, working down the Danube River. We'll go through the Main Canal, which is quintessential Germany. That's the best way I can explain the Main. It's the land of Snow White. And then we will enter into the Rhine, visit the Rhine Gorge, and make our way to Amsterdam. You will board the ocean ship and do that last 8-day cruise. So that is a quick overview. We have our ships. Our ships are beautiful ships. All of them are brand new ships. They're well designed, they're elegant. We have spacious common areas, intimate lounges, elegant dining areas. We have specifically engineered our ships to make sure you are connected in the destination in every way. All of our staterooms, they are very stylish with all the amenities of a fine hotel as well. One of the things I can mention, and here's a view of our interiors of our ships. So we invoke that. Remember how I told you we bring in that Viking heritage? We bring that in throughout our ship design. So we've showcased the wood's natural grains. As you can see, we use the Norwegian relevance for light. So we bring a lot of light into our ships. We add in subtle accents of leather and teak for warmth and character. I get asked all the time, you can't really see it in it, but we have like white leather chairs and couches on our ships. People ask me all the time, why white? We're an adult-only cruise line. We have no children on board of our cruise line. So we focus, you have to be 18 years old and above. You won't find kiddie pools. You won't find casinos on board of our ships. Our ships are destination focused. As I showed you in that 15-day adventure, you only have 1 sea day. So keep that in mind. And then our staterooms, they have all the amenities of a fine hotel, as I mentioned. So our king size bed, they have all the luxury linens. We have multiple outlets, so you have lots of USB ports to charge all your gizmos. We have floor to ceiling glassed in showers in our bathrooms, heated bathroom floors, full size toiletries. So there's lots of storage for you as well. So these are a perfect place for you to relax, wake up refreshed. Now, I didn't show you many pictures because of the fact I want you to give Danny a call, because Danny can send you a virtual tour. So it is a tour that you can take, a virtual tour like you are on the ship yourself. So I encourage you to do that. One of my favorite things is food and wine when I journey. And at Viking, we believe it's an important part of the journey as well. So our highly trained chefs, they are passionate about providing you a culinary rich experience. We locally source our ingredients. So you will find on our menus authentic meals to that region we're sailing it in. And then we complement it, we pair it with that complimentary wine from that region. So it's absolutely perfect. We are known as the Thinking Person's Cruise. So we remember what I said, we are that cruise line if you are that person that wants to get into the most intimate nuances of the destination. Everything on our ships has been designed to enrich and enhance your travel experience, to really help you fully immerse yourself in the journey. From our thoughtfully curated library, to our guest lecturers and our Viking resident historians, to our cooking classes, to our wine tastings with our sommeliers. So we want to inspire you to travel even before you depart. So we have what is called Viking TV. This will help you to continue to travel virtually in this non-time of travel. Please go on there. Every day we have new different live streams. We have on-demand programmings. We have short documentaries, interviews, lectures, reading lists, filmographies, you name it. Today I started watching the history of France. We have a 2-hour extravaganza about the history of France. So I'm going to dive into there by, it's a true historian that talks about it. So that's who we have on Viking TV that you can enjoy. Now, what we're going to do is we have a special. If you want to, if you're interested in booking and depositing a Viking cruise, you are more than welcome to do that. What we are going to do is Viking, Danny, and CARP, we are going to offer you $100 per person shipboard credit if you purchase your Viking cruise within the next 2 weeks. And what is great about that is right up until April the 30th of this month, we have a risk-free in place, because I understand we don't know what's going on in the world and we don't know what's happening. So we have what is called a risk-free. So this helps you put a deposit on your cruise and you don't have to worry about it, because you can cancel and change your cruise until 14 days prior. So if you are cruising in 2023, you have 14 days prior to your departure to cancel or change your cruise. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is we are already 70% sold out for next year. We are filling up very fast. We have pretty much 2 seasons to get into one. And small ship cruising, and Danny can talk to this as soon as we bring him back on here. We are filling up, and I'm pretty sure it's not just us. I'm sure it's a lot of other people out there. So if you want to travel in 22, please don't hesitate. I don't want you to miss out on your journey. So let's bring Danny back on, and we will see if we have any questions from anybody. How about that?
Well, give people a chance to think of them and send them to us. Jordan, Jordana, just as a prelude, I wanted to thank you very much. Your enthusiasm is infectious. It's really fun to watch you talking about this, because you are obviously passionate about it. I did make a number of questions and comments. I do have to admit that Viking Ocean Cruise is something that is on my list to do, but I have had a number of clients who have come back and absolutely raved about the quality of the ship, the food, you know, the excursions and that sort of thing. So definitely not a complaint, you know, not even close to a complaint. So very high recommendations. Just a question that came up, numbers of guests on board the ocean cruise?
Okay, so there's only 930 passengers on board of our ocean ship. So that's what makes it us a small ship ocean experience. And all of our staterooms are verandas. So we don't have inside our ocean views. It's all veranda staterooms.
Thank you. Yes, I was aware that. I wanted you to say that. for our viewers. Yes, and certainly 950 people. I've been on, as you said, cruise ships that have had thousands and thousands, and certainly getting on and off the ship is an interesting experience, shall we put it that way. 950 is certainly much easier. And I would take it that the itineraries can be reversed too.
Very so, yes. So all of our itineraries can be reversed. So you could start in Bergen and make your way to the Rhine or the Grand European that I went through.
Okay, thank you. You know, it's interesting you talked about the perfect picture and putting a camera up and not being able to enjoy the moment yourself. As a travel agent, that has been one of my worst faults. I mean, I'm looking at taking pictures that I can take back and show to clients, but in the process, kind of missing out a little bit on the full experience myself. Looking at the Rhine, certainly watching the little video that was on at the beginning brought back an awful lot of memories. We did, you know, equivalent of the Grand European from Budapest to Amsterdam. It was quite some time ago now, but tremendous number of memories that the pictures and the video brought back. The half timber houses, you know, that's iconic Europe housing. The wisteria that was growing, you know, the purple flowers on vines. We have that outside of our house, and every time we look at it twice a year here, I think of the places in Europe that we've visited. And your suggestion certainly to come in early and leave late, if people are able to add those extra couple of days and do as you suggested, get over any flight lag, a jet lag, that sort of thing, that's helpful. And certainly in most cases when people travel someplace, they travel there once and then they look and say, I've got so many other places to go to that I'm not likely to come back. So to spend that extra day or two on embarkation and debarkation cities is a very good idea. Wine. Now, when you're visiting lots of places for wine, what's Viking's policy on buying a bottle and bringing it back on board?
We welcome you to. We'll even open it for you. There is no charge or anything. So you are welcome to bring your own alcohol on board of our ships.
Okay, that's great. And you know, certainly the optional excursions are nice. You have time on your own, and one of the slides indicated that if you're going to, you know, go on a trip like this, that you really ought to do some self-education on it. If you are planning to take those optional days and do something on your own, it's very important to take the time to plan that out so that you're not just wandering around lost. Personally, as an agent, I like to take the optional excursions myself because it's time well spent as far as I'm concerned to be able to come back and talk to my clients about it. Walking, and the final thing that I made note of in that 2-week river cruise that we did from Budapest to Amsterdam, I'd say about 2/3 of the way through, even though I did have good walking shoes, my feet were sore. Walking on cobblestones is very beautiful to look at, and perhaps not quite as easy as you might think on your feet. I've seen people that were wearing sneakers, for example. Definitely not the type of footwear to walk on when you're dealing with cobblestones. So certainly come prepared for good walking. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be wonderful, but it's also going to be hard on your feet if you're not careful. So anyway, I would like to talk for a minute about what's happening next week. Folks mentioned that 6:30 on Tuesday, April the 13th, we're going to have a presentation by Exodus Travels on very small group tours. They do walking tours in a lot of cases all around the world. It's quite amazing the number of places that they actually can book trips for you. So please join us for that. So a wholehearted thank you, Jordana, for your wonderful presentation. I think this is a really neat idea, and certainly the idea of adding the extra week to leave from Budapest with the Grand European is, if somebody has the cash in their pocket and the extra week to be able to take to enjoy that, I think it would make for a wonderful experience. So thank you very much for showing us this today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
All right, and we don't have any questions that came in, so we're good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.